Hello, I'm DeDe. In this session, we'll enjoy 30 minutes of yoga, some of which will be traditional balance poses, and some will be traditional poses with an added balance challenge, whether it's through the base of support or head position. So we'll play around with that a little bit. Here's what you'll need. A yoga mat, unless you're on some carpeting, you might be okay then. A small towel, some water for hydration, probably don't need any shoes, plenty of room around you, and remember to always move at your own perfect pace. That means you'll skip something if it doesn't feel right for you, or you'll modify it. I'll give you modifications. So let's begin standing. Stand with your feet about hip joint distance apart. Your knees are a little bit unlocked. Your pelvis is level all the way around. Your rib cage is pulled into your body, shoulders back and down. And if your head is forward, pull your ears back over your shoulders. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart center. And then if you feel comfortable doing it, close your eyes while you're here. Otherwise, feel free to leave your eyes open. Now let's start to feel the breath as it enters and exits through our nose. And let's think about bringing the weight equally across our right and left foot. If you were standing on two scales, one under your right foot, one under your left foot, they would read the same amount of weight. That's how even we are right now with our body weight across our feet. So really bring yourself into this moment, into this very moment. Mentally. You're here physically, bring yourself here mentally as well. Now let's place the back of one of our hands on our low back and the palm of the other hand on our low abdomen. And try to feel the inhale begin down there first. Keep filling upward into your ribs, your chest, your throat, and then a long exhale goes with that. Let's repeat. So by starting the inhale a bit lower than we normally do in our lungs, we create a deeper volume of breath, and that's more calming. Can you notice that your breathing is also slower when you breathe more deeply? Bring your awareness back to your feet. Do you still have equal weight across both of them? See if you do. We're maintaining our ears over our shoulders. If your eyes are closed, you can open them, and let's release the arms down to the sides. Turn your palms forward now so we get just a little bit more shoulders back and down with that arm rotation. Ears over the shoulders. Drop your ear toward your shoulder on the right, and then come back to the center, and ear toward the shoulder on the left, and back to center. So we'll inhale to the center, And we'll exhale into the tilt. Still looking forward though. Make these gentle. We're just starting to limber and prepare. It's okay if it feels tight in your neck as you do this. This will help to make it less tight. How about one more? Now, come back to center, take your hands on your hips, come up on one set of tiptoes, so you're not going up and down with your whole body, just your foot. Let's do the other side. So we inhale there, and then exhale there. Preparing our feet and our ankles, our lower legs. Let's do 4 more. Make sure you're bending right across your toe joints. Can you feel the stretch in the underside of your toes? Maybe into your arch too. All right, let's bring the feet down. Now the arms come back down to the sides, turn the palms forward. Let's go up on both sets of tiptoes now. Inhale, and then exhale to come down. You don't have to go up very high to really activate your calf muscles and to challenge your balance. Just a word about balancing. If you need to be near a wall or a chair or a countertop, make sure that you move yourself over to one of those things so you feel secure. Otherwise, you're just here on your mat with plenty of space around you. Let's add some arms now. Thumbs up, arms lift a little bit, and then they come back down. We'll go a little higher with the heels, a little higher with the arms if we can. Feel free to bend your elbows as your arms come up if that feels more comfortable for your shoulders. Inhale. And when you're ready, exhale. One of the great things about practicing balancing, whether it's on your toes like we are now, or any type of balancing, is that it helps us get better at balancing, no matter what our age, no matter what our level of balance skill. Now stay down this time. Let's do an ankle circle now, around, and the other side, around. And then we'll add some shoulder roll to this side and this side. If you want to turn your head and your chest a little bit, you can, and that way we're getting into our midsection a little bit, some of our core muscles there. You don't have to move with your breath for this one. You're just breathing continuously at a pace that feels comfortable for you. Let's do one more of these. And then we'll come down with both heels. Now step your feet apart about shoulder width and your hands are on your hips. Now we push the hips to one side. We push the hips to the front. We push the hips to the other side and then to the back. Now reverse. Now you might not be thinking about this, but as your pelvis goes one way, your torso goes the opposite way. And that's how we counterbalance. Let's reverse again. So the weight of our shoulders is counterbalancing the weight of our pelvis. Can you do this with your knees straight? Try to do it with your knees straight if possible. If you need a little bend in your knees, that's okay too, but see if you can go in the direction of straighter knees. Now, as you do this, are you tensing your shoulders or can you relax them down away from your ears? See if you can. Did you feel what's happening through your hip joints? Maybe your low back. And as you lean your shoulders back and your pelvis goes forward, that switches on your abdominal muscles. All kinds of stuff going on here. We have 2 more. And 1 more time. Now let's come back to the center. Now we walk the feet back in, back to our starting distance of hip joint distance apart. Now sweep your arms up, inhale, and as you exhale, take your hands together in front of your heart center. Let's do it again. You're breathing at your pace. Now start to bend your knees and push your hips back, but keep your spine straight. So this is my breathing pace. What's yours? Keep going with this. I always like to show you this from the side, just so you can be sure that you in fact have your spine long and straight, including your neck. Make sure that your spine is that same straight shape. Now this time, take your hands onto your thighs and we'll stay here. Now inhale, stand. Hands are still on your thighs. Exhale, sit back. So this is different than the chair. We're keeping our knees a little bit straighter now. And I'll show you that from the side. So you still have your knees slightly bent, but it's much more of a hip hinge than it is a chair pose. Can you feel what's happening in your hamstrings and the backs of your legs? Can you feel what's happening in your low back? Maybe you feel that somewhere else as well. Make sure you're supporting your back with your hands. All right, and then we'll come down into that hip hinge and we'll stay here. Now inhale, lift your tailbone a little bit, so that's a little bit more arch in your low back, and then exhale, tuck your tailbone under a little bit, so that's less arch. Let's try that again. Inhale, tailbone lifts up. Exhale, tailbone tucks under just a little bit. Just creating a little motion there through our lumbar spine, our low back. 1 more. All right, and then come back to neutral spine, so you're not arched or rounded, and then hip hinge up as you inhale. And then as you exhale, get into this split stance. So you're stepping back, and then we're turning toward one another. So you turn toward me with a wide stance. I also have a wide stance facing you. Turn your toes outward so they match the outward turnout of your knees. And then we'll inhale, straighten the knees, bring your arms up, elbows can be bent. Exhale, sit back. Once again, the back is straight, sweep the arms down. Little fingers come together. Inhale, come up. Index finger and thumb come together. Exhale, come down, little fingers come together. You want to make sure you keep your balance here. So maybe you have your eyes on one stationary point as you do this. Maybe you're not looking at me the whole time. So where we look, and if our eyes are stationary, that plays into how well we can balance. So for example, if you're in a darker room, it's harder to balance because we use our eyes to help us balance. We also use some of the sensors in our joints, and we use our inner ear, parts of our inner ear. Now let's stay here, hands on the legs. Once again, supporting. Inhale, exhale, turn, drop one shoulder down. Inhale, back up to the center. Keep your knees pushing out. Exhale, drop the other shoulder. Now moving at your breathing pace. Can you feel the stretch? Can you feel the rotation and the shoulder stretch? I sure can. I hope you can. Two more. Now let's come back to center and we'll hinge up and then we'll slide our feet back in, roll the shoulders. All right, let's practice this now. Index finger and thumb, and then arms down at the sides. Inhale and exhale. Now let's tap our left foot out. Tap the left foot out and then come back to center. Tap the right foot out this time. Go with your breathing pace. So we point the toe and we tap it down. Now, instead of pointing the toe and tapping it down, we're going to start to flex the foot and lift the leg away from us. So it looks like this. Now, this is the 5-pointed star. That's a harder balance challenge, isn't it? Flex your foot, push out through your heel. Reach the heel away from you. Do you need more bend in your elbows? Make sure you provide yourself with what your body needs. So this is a balance challenge. It's also a hip stability and core stability challenge, as well as a little bit of muscular endurance work for our shoulders. All right, both feet come down. Separate your feet about shoulder width distance, hands on your hips. Let's go around in these hip circles again. So as your hips go forward, your shoulders go opposite. And then reverse. All right, let's come back to the center now. Step your feet out wider. Turn your toes out once again. Let's come down. And then hands on the legs, shoulders back, knees pressing open. Core is strong. Now watch the feet. Right heel up and down, and left heel this time. Up and down. Just go with your breath. Now, can you have one arm or both arms out? Can you keep pressing your knees open wide? Now, how about both heels? They're up. This is an option. You don't have to do it. And down. Both heels up and down. Pull your front ribs in. Don't let them stick out too far. Up and down. Only one more of these. And down. All right, slide your feet back in. About shoulder width. Let's go around this way with the hips. And then reverse. Limbering, recovering, all kinds of stuff going on right now. Now stand back up. Take your feet in. Turn your right knee out. Keep your toes on the floor and make sure your right knee continues out to the right. Don't let it point to the front. Okay, hands on your hips, ears over shoulders. Now watch, tilt your head. So this is challenging for our balance because it's changing what's happening in our inner ear, and to a lesser degree, through our eyes. We're seeing things a little bit differently. Now come back up, and then we'll switch. Both feet down. Left knee out, get the knee out to the side. Try not to collapse into your opposite hip. Now, is this challenging for you? Because if it is, you do not have to tilt your head. Maybe you have your hand on something like the back of a sturdy chair. But if you want more challenge, here we go. Ear to shoulder. So remember, when we're balancing, we're not trying to hold still like a statue, because that's not what humans do. There's little motion. It's okay to have little tiny micro adjustments. Bring your head back up, both feet down. Okay, let's try it again. Right knee out. Stay with what we did in the first round, but if you're comfortable doing it, take your toes off the floor. See, my foot is below my knee. Don't hang your foot on your knee. All right, let's take our left arm out so it's a counterbalance for our right knee. And then try tilting your head. Keep breathing. Bring your head back up, bring your arm in, take your foot down. How did you do? Remember, being off of your mat is going to be a little easier because the mat is a little bit squishy. So step off your mat if you need to. Left knee. Foot can come up if you want that additional challenge. Here's our right arm. And then here's our head tilt if you want to try it. Keep breathing. Try not to grip with your toes. Let your toes stay relaxed. And then your head comes back up, arm comes in, foot comes down. Now, right knee is bending. Stay with the version 1 or the version 2, or try this version 3. Left arm out, foot goes up here in your inner upper thigh. You can keep holding your ankle, or you can take your hand behind your leg. And now try this. Tilting not only the head, but lifting the arm and lengthening the left side of our torso. So you can bring your foot down if you need to, like I just did. It's okay. Remember, we're humans, we're not statues. All right, bring your head back up, bring your hands down, bring your foot down, and let's try the other side. Do you need to step off your mat? Make sure you do, if you need to. Here, or here, or here. Holding onto your ankle if you need to, otherwise hand goes behind the leg. And then up, and maybe some head tilt and some torso leaning. All right, and then we'll come back up. And then hands down, feet down. Back to shoulder width distance with the feet. Let's go around with our hips. Did you know that on some days we can actually balance better than other days? It's true. And that can depend on a lot of things, including what your inner ear is like on that day. Like, did you go through some mountains where your inner ear has different amounts of pressure than it might normally? How much sleep you got the night before? All kinds of things can affect our balance. All right, let's stand back up. Bring your feet back in. Now let's come to mountain pose. Hands together in front of the heart, ears over shoulders. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that, otherwise keep your eyes open. Open your eyes if they were closed. Relax your arms. Let's do a quick grabbing of some water. So one hand on your leg so you can bend down and pick up your water safely. Same with when you set it down. You want to support with your hand on your leg. Let's come down now onto our mat. You may need your folded towel as a pillow, so make sure you grab that if you need it. Feel free to come down from your standing position any way you like, whatever way works for you, including using a piece of furniture to help you if you need it. If you're going to use your folded towel as a pillow, something like this usually works pretty well, and it goes here where your head's going to go. Otherwise, put it off to the side. Let's lie all the way down. Separate your feet a little wider than your shoulders. Take your arms down with the palms up or your arms out with the palms up. And then inhale, exhale, your knees go to one side, your head turns opposite your knees. And then inhale back to center, and we'll exhale the other way. That feels nice after all of the stabilization that we had to do during our balance challenges. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. One more. And then we'll come to the center. Now we walk the ankles and knees together, and we bring the arms more comfortably down to the sides. Now we'll stretch our right leg up toward the ceiling, and we'll hold on to the back of our right leg anywhere that's comfortable for you. Flex your foot and pull your leg in close. Now you don't have to turn your head and look at me the whole time. It's probably better if you look up with your neck neutral while you're here. Now cross your right ankle over your left knee, and with your right hand, push the knee away. You can do that with your fist if that's more comfortable, your palm, or your fingertips. Let's uncross the legs, and then we'll take the left leg up for the hamstring stretch. Hold on to the back of your leg. Flex your foot. And then cross your left ankle over your right knee and push the leg away. You're pushing it toward the foot of your mat that way. And then we'll uncross the legs. Let's carefully turn ourselves over and we'll press ourselves up. Now we'll come to a seated position to finish. So if you need to sit on your folded towel to elevate your hips a little bit, make sure that you do that. So how did that feel? The more we safely challenge our balance, the better our balance can become. So keep safely practicing balance every day if you can. Thanks for joining me, but also thank yourself for being here and taking good care of you. And until next time,